Warriors, welcome to the channel. I am Scornful Exaltation, and this is Line War. Today, we've got a match from Group E of the official T2 1v1 tournament, which is running from July 1st to July 7th. In the future, this is where I'll be introducing the players, but I'm still figuring out my workflow and kind of recorded things out of order. So let's just jump into the replay and leave it to past me to introduce the players.
We have another match from our T2 tournament. This is a Group E match between akamisc and akamisc in blue and Haako in red. And this is a second match between these two. Haako chose to use an extra life. Having gone and watched that replay, I think he chose to use the extra life because the map seed was one that's very difficult to start on. It's an island map, and it's very the territories get blacked out very quickly, so you really end up put into a pretty bad situation. Very unorthodox game, just a close spawn, rush, and zerg it out, basically. So we're going to have a rematch between these two on a bigger map, it looks like. Haven't seen any matches on this map yet, so I mean, it does look like honestly, it looks susceptible to the same problems as the other map. But let's break it down a little bit further. So we've got this main island, large central lake, large central lake here. A bay down here that has a three-port trade network on it. No other trade routes that I can see. So obviously, if a player is able to get this trade network up, that's a very powerful asset that they would have. We've got a cross pick available right here. Could even stretch it up a little bit along this coast if you wanted to. Cross pick available here. Can't get over to the eastern island. I think this could actually be. So this trade network is something that could kind of be a game breaker, and this eastern territory, this eastern strip, could also be something that decides the game. That's extra economy. Could be the difference. So let's see how the players are going to cut this thing up. A little bit about the players. Both of these guys are veterans or old heads at the game. akamisc, I believe, is a prior tournament winner. Arguably the best player right now. akamisc, like my top four are akamisc, Anamorph, someone said that my nickname sucks, and Basantos are all pretty much like neck and neck for the top player right now, in my opinion. So akamisc, super formidable. I'd say he's a very fundamentally solid player, and really good micro and a really strong game sense. He knows like what engagements to take, and very good at picking his units and picking his fights. Haako, I haven't seen that many replays from Haako, but in their first match, Haako made some good moves, and I think lesser players would have crumbled under the pressure and the damage that he was able to put on. But akamisc was able to get his economy up and going, and that really spelled the difference quite quickly in that game. But yeah, Haako participated in the last tournament. I don't remember how far he got through it. Honestly, I still favor akamisc here in this match. Again, I'm going to favor akamisc against most players, really. Haako He did show some strength in that last one, so not going to completely write him off. I think this pick phase is going more in akamisc's favor, though. I like this starting position. It gives him plenty of room to expand. That said, Haako does have this coastline over here that would allow him to get to the east side, or to this eastern strip pretty quickly. Oh, excuse me. akamisc looks like he could be targeting the trade route starting on this port town. But expect to see him come up and get this second town as well. He could also grab this energy well. Okay, so he's just going to position himself to expand as quickly as possible. Looks like he does want to get that trade route up. Haako. I don't really understand the thought process here. Maybe he's putting a shipyard here and he's gonna push eastward. And that's time that he's expanding, whereas he's also building his expansion tech. Let's check the starts. Start with player 1 as usual. Lines down. Town. You can see the port. I think he's waiting to see if Haako started here. Doesn't see it. 2 factories. Tanks. There is quite a bit of flat land here, so we'll be able to abuse the mobility of the tanks a little bit. That said, all of the land is fairly narrow, so not a ton of room to maneuver, but you can definitely get on the map pretty far. Shipyard as well. Has this energy well, but he hasn't built it yet. Airport on the way. I expect to see a commando drop, which is what Haako's gone for. T-Rex commando jet. Expect to see that targeting this eastern side very quickly. And this will be a lot of relatively safe economy through the early game. He does need to be aware of the possibility of akamisc having a shipyard and getting warships in this kind of eastern channel. Adding a third barracks as well to help push his help push his expansion. This I don't believe is land. This doesn't look land traversable, so maybe Haako is just going to send the commandos over here. But I expect them to go east, subpen as well, to start capping up these territories and get access to this energy well. This isn't land traversable, but I don't think it's water traversable either. Haako has access to an energy well, a land-based one. Subs in this central lake would actually be able to see quite a bit, so they could be really useful for scouting and intel gathering. Refinery on the way. Looks like a destroyer is going to be the first ship out of the shipyard. No port, so kind of surprisingly. Haako's sitting on a good amount of capital too. I wonder what he's saving up for. Interceptor coming out the airport next. Might go into bombers. I think bombers would be a good choice. Not quite in range of the main base. I mean, they might. Like, he's a little short, but they could aggro out a little bit past their max range. 380 to 465. So that town giving akamisc a lot of extra capital, as well as it seems like he just expanded faster. 410. Oh, 465. So he's gotten going a little bit quicker than Haako, I think, because the town only provides 45 capital, but Haako's down like 50, 65. Akamisc building commandos. I don't see a transport, but I really wouldn't be so. Oh no, he's not going for the transport jet. He's going for the transport boat. Probably going to drop commandos over here and start working on getting that trade route going. Two additional energy wells here for akamisc, which I think we will see him develop quite rapidly. Tanks moving out. 6 tanks. I think, yeah, 6 tanks should be more than this single refinery can support. Factory on the way for Haako also has his refinery up. He does drop the commandos off on the east side first. Has another drop pointed up here at the north. Looking to get on the western side and contest this from AK. And he's still sitting on a good little bank here is Haako, 313 in the bank. 470, 575, so he's down 100 capital per minute. He's down 100 capital per minute. I'm not really sure why. I'm not sure how he got outpaced that much in his expansion. I like this move. This being his only land-based refinery. Good idea to get the energy storage up. That'll give him a little bit of additional flexibility in using his energy-consuming units. I kind of don't like that he doesn't have a shipyard for this eastern channel. This is going to be a pretty important part of this economy, I think. So, having a shipyard over here and a navy for this, primarily for this eastern channel, would just help secure that income for him and give him the possibility of getting in here and disrupting this trade network should akamisc get it up. I thought I heard something else get built. No, it actually could be useful to get an airstrip over here. Use inter-airbase transfer rather than building more production. Probably does need production over here on the west side, though. Three helicopters on the field for AK, but Haako has 2 interceptors up, and I can't see the range of this. This actually might be out of range. Haako probably going to want to get an airfield, an airstrip up a little bit further south so that he can properly cover these forces these troops as they expand. This attack command overriding his move commands. He's trying to pull back out of range of these helicopters. I think he's trying to get back into interceptor cover, or back into range where his interceptors can cover. I expect to see these commando drops continue. Right, I can't see it. I keep hitting tab to try and pull up the range of this airport, but it just doesn't pull up. Energy store, or an energy depot for akamisc as well. Another energy refinery. Ooh, we've got an aggressive drop coming in from Haako. Fortunately for him, this is right on top of barracks. Yeah, he can't quite see it. Why is akamisc? Did I miss something? I'm really surprised that akamisc has units like right at the drop point. Seems kind of crazy. That said, 4 commandos should be more than enough to take down these 2 units of infantry, but that does give them away. And it looks like akamisc not concerned with the trade route very much. I mean, he gets in one of the towns coming. Hasn't built the port here, I think. Yeah, that port is still not built. Haako not building up the rock farm here immediately. Haako's interceptors find some targets of opportunity, gonna get a lot of damage onto these helicopters. Interceptors are a little bad at hitting stationary targets though, but they should be able to take out at least one more of these helicopters, if not all of them. Alright, akamisc gets them moving. That's just going to make them easier targets for the interceptors, really. Nope. Looks like they... Okay, so he is able to get those out of range. Interceptors kind of had a bad timing on their like reset there. akamisc in his own commando drop. Looks like Haako sees it, has interceptors coming over that would be very useful for keeping track of these stealth commandos. Another wave of commandos going in for Haako as well. Looks like most of his commandos got taken out, but they did destroy the barracks down here. akamisc has quite a little bank of commandos. Targeting this town, I think they'll be able to get it. These 3 commandos should be able to take this down before anything can get over here to stop them. Another town coming up and a barracks. akamisc makes first contact with these commandos on the west side. The fight on the east side is going well for akamisc, I think. This is a lot of infantry, and these tanks are quite beat up, so not as well as I thought. If he has helicopters to bring, this would be a good place for them to be. Misses amphibious landing go off. So akamisc looking to get established on the eastern strip. And he targeted the richer landmass first. Let's see what the economy looks like. 910 to 790. So still holding about 100 capital per minute advantage is AK. Even after losing a town. Doesn't look like there's anything added here from Haako. Still really heavy. Oh no, he's alternating. Okay, that makes sense. Being very active with his commandos is Haako. Needs to get up. He does need to get damage with these. Commando drops are not cheap, so definitely needs to find damage with these, and he has so far. To his credit. Production on the west side as well. Has a small garrison here to stop this commando drop from AK. I always love when I see players effectively utilize little garrisons like this, and I love this line as well. He's got, so Haako has, he at least has energy storage. He's got some energy banked up, so he can afford to have an interceptor running this kind of patrol here. Ooh, getting some helicopters up here on this town as well. So this town is definitely going to go down. 925, 970. Definitely bringing that income disparity down. They're closing the gap. Haako making really good moves. Gotta say, I'm very impressed with the way he's played it so far. Looking really good. akamisc does still have this trade network in his territory. He doesn't have it built up. And it's going to be a while before this leg of the network becomes available. And he really needs all three to get the full benefit from it. And Haako decides not to push in. I do like this. No need to overextend, especially with a primarily infantry army, and with landing ships getting banked up. Two barracks on the eastern side for akamisc. Haako he's actually cut production over here, so he needs to see this happening and respond. Because I don't think he's responded yet. I think these are just lines that he put down earlier. I heard another airport or something. Yeah. Curious place for the airport to go. I'm kind of surprised he put it here because akamisc has been dropping commandos at this location. So that's a little surprising. Helicopters up here are going to be able to do pretty good work against this infantry and commando expeditionary force, I guess. akamisc is going to bring out his garrison of commandos to hunt down Haako's commandos. Last I checked, 7 is a bigger number than 4, so Haako wisely moves away, but this is friendly territory, so I thought AK's commandos would have a speed advantage, but Haako having no trouble just staying out of range. Going back, and he's going to show the landing. This is a problem. No factory tech over here for Haako means that his army is quite a bit underpowered. Adding production here, a little worryingly close to the shore. akamisc sees it. This is a bunch of destroyers. Destroyers have great vision. So able to see this buildup of production. It's starting to look a little sideways. It's starting to go a little wrong for Haako. He's getting pushed back off of the west. He brought AK's commandos straight to where he was trying to land troops. So AK hardly had to do anything to respond to this drop. The containment force of infantry that Haako had over here has been largely obliterated by this artillery ball. There's a fleet of destroyers parked in the eastern channel. Big buildup of infantry on the eastern island. I'm going to call it an island. It's not quite an island, but it's basically an island. Really starting to worry for Haako. He had done so well up to this point. 1140 to 975. So Haako's got commandos on the ground. They've captured a territory. He can put production here and really make this a headache for AK to clear. Don't know that he doesn't have the capital. Doesn't have the capital. A lot of commandos on standby, out of energy, a lot of submarines. he can't really use. Probably, he definitely should have turned off the sub pin a while ago. God, this is really going wrong for Haako. He'd gotten himself into a good position, I think. Still sending this drop into the same spot. And now he's losing the front. He's got helicopters, but a full dot of SAMs will definitely swat down 5 helicopters, 6 helicopters. These 6 helicopters could be useful on the other side, though. Yeah, the factory got sniped down. That's unfortunate. Yeah, I don't see Haako being able to come back into this game. He's very cramped on income. I think he really needed this Eastern Island, and just wasn't on top of defending this very vital location. Game's not over yet. He could, send this drop somewhere else, get the troops loaded up first, and then land in force. I think it really turned when he brought his commandos back to where he was dropping troops and kind of gave away his drop. There we go. Now we're getting a different location. And also he didn't bring a cruiser over or anything to give his ground troops any support. Town's still not rebuilt, so no target here for the commandos to attack, and they've been intercepted. Looks like AK has continuous air patrols over this coastline now. This is a very scary ball of Artie. Don't see any way for Haako to actually stop this. He's got a lot of aircraft. He's got helicopters. He's got helicopters, but he doesn't really have he doesn't have the energy to run them a lot, and two, there's just too much, there are too many SAMs here for the helicopters to really be effective against this. He does still have 700 capital, 750 capital. He's still in the green. So maybe he can find some vulnerable spots like this. If he takes this territory and gets some production down, that could be really strong. It really is too bad that he didn't fight for this eastern channel, because being able to get drop troops onto this southern edge would be really powerful. The southern coastline would be really powerful. Because he needs to not face this directly. He needs to be able to hit this production and slowly grind this down. He did show some really good plays, and he got himself into a good position, just not quite sharp enough on the execution to gain a significant strategic advantage. Port finally on the way for AK, town on the other end, so he's going to get one leg of this trade route out, maybe before the end of the game. but he really doesn't need it at this point. Haako has retaken the eastern island. His aircraft, or his helicopters on this side, went largely uncontested. akamisc is building a SAM, or he is building SAMs now. He's got the only SAMs factory going, but most of this should go back to Haako, but he can't really build these eco sites because they're on the coast. He can get this one. Won't be able to turn this into a city though. And there is still a clump of infantry back here, so if Haako isn't thorough, he could end up, or AK could rebuild on this island. Yeah, and this much artillery is just gonna punch straight through this. There we go, another town. So akamisc finally investing into this trade network that he has. Haako did get some production up here. Would like to see him continue to drop commandos until he's gotten a decent amount of units out of his production. He's got, what is this? Six commandos standing by, 6 commandos, 2 transport jets, ready to go. I do like the decision to use the interceptors to attack these ground targets. They're not great at attacking ground targets, but they can do it. And it's more damage than none. Missile boats come up, shut down the helicopters. And yeah, it doesn't look like Haako's going to be knocking AK off of this island completely anytime soon. He's definitely got a bigger concern with huge party SAM barreling down on his main base. There's not much production. I expect we'll see a GG very, very shortly. Is that an airstrip? I thought I heard an airstrip get built. Oh yeah, AK even built this up too. Sam's rolling through. I would say he needs to be careful about rolling Sam's through like this, but he's pretty much killed all of the helicopters. He killed the helicopters that were over here, killed the helicopters that were on the east. There shouldn't be. It's understandable that he's confident that he's killed all of the air units that Haako has. I think we're just waiting for this one to end. Haako kind of set up another defensive line, but there's no chance. He continued to print out like several extra submarines and landing ships, but imagine if these were cruisers. If he had gotten, 3 cruisers, 2 or 3 cruisers, a couple of missile boats. Really constrain this army. If you have a navy on both sides, suddenly this fight doesn't look so impossible. Instantly goes into the city, does akamisc. He should have this up. Oh, there's the fort. There we go. Finally, 31 minutes in, the trade route is active. I really thought he would go for this a lot quicker than he did. can't really criticize the strategy he did 2 weeks ago. He's very effective. He definitely still has a significant economic edge or advantage. Haako attacks out of this defensive line, which there really isn't a correct answer in this situation. I think attacking out just makes your infantry to disappear faster, but what are you really going to do in that situation? Haako calls GG and akamisc going to secure the W, and it was like that. That was kind of the expected outcome. AK is going to be favored against basically every other player. But Haako showed some really. He did have himself in a very good position to win. I think he could have won that if he'd handled that amphibious landing a bit differently. If he had changed. If he had selected his units for that central lake differently, I think those 2 elements were kind of like the biggest, most impactful changes that he could have made. But really cool game. Closer than I expected, honestly. And yeah, I think Haako. I forget who else is in this group. I want to say this group is a really tough group, though. Yeah, I think Haako has a chance to surprise me and make it out of this group. Anyway, that is all for this one.